You are welcome back to the second episode of how to learn to use the catCAS application. At this time around, we are going to continue from where we stopped. And as you can understand, in the first episode, we used Google Chrome as the browser, and right now I want to see how we can use Mozilla Firefox as the browser for accessing the application. So here at my taskbar, I click on the Firefox. Now the Firefox has loaded very quickly. Now in the address bar here, I want to type the address to the application. Just be patient with me as I type to reach the application. As you can see, the catLogger competency assessment software catCAS has now been loaded into the browser, and we have been directly taken to the administrator side. As I told you in the first episode, if you wish to go to the catLoggers side, you can click on the catLogger. But let us continue from where we stopped this afternoon. So let me click on the admin. And as you can see, I already have my account. So permit me now to enter my username and my password. That is my name and my staff ID. So now I can click on sign in. You can see that we have successfully signed into the back end, which is the administrator part of the application. Let me also remind you that in the first episode we created a subject, and to the subject we created about 2 questions, and then we added options to the questions. Let me quickly take you there. So look to the left of the page and you can see assessment. So I can click assessment. In this environment, this is where you manage the test question. Let me click in this column and I can select automation. If you can recall quickly, in the first episode, these are the 2 questions that we created. We added 2 values as the score, that is the mark for any right question that is being selected by the catLogger. We already have the answers here among the other options. We can decide to edit if we feel that the answer that we have applied to it is wrong, and we may decide to even delete the whole question by clicking on this delete at the right corner of the page here. What I would like to do before we continue, as promised, is for us now to add 1 additional question, and then we also follow up in adding options to the questions, and then select 1 right answer and leave the other options, so that we now have 3 questions under the topic called automation. So do that. At the top right corner here, you can see a menu called new questions, so I can click on it. Having done that, under competency, you need to click on this small tiny arrow facing down here, and then among 3 subjects that we created, this is the recent one, automation. So you click on the automation, and then you can append or you can enter your questions here. So the question I would like to ask here is going to be something that has to do with yes, no, or I don't, undecided. Okay, so now the question I want to ask the catLogger is, do you think automating cataloging processes will add any value to the services, to the library services? This is the question. And then, as we said today in the first episode, immediately you finish typing your question here, you need to click on save. So let me do that. Now I have done that. Immediately you do that, you'll be taken to the question centric page, and here is where we are going to enter the options, that the answers to the question. So the first one is going to be no, and I'm going to click go. The second one is going to be I cannot decide now. That's the second option. And the third option is going to be yes, I believe so. Or let's just leave it as yes. Okay. You can see that the options are being created for this question that you can see here under the subject automation. Now the next thing we need to do now is to select the answer that we know that is the correct answer, and which I think is yes. Okay, now we need to allocate value, that is the mark that will be given to the person who select the right answer. And here I'm going to type 2 here. So 2 marks will be given to anybody who select the option yes, which will be the right answer. Having done that, finally I need to click on save. Okay, so you can see that question successfully saved. So let me close. As I told you, I said that we just need to add additional 1 question with its own options, and we have done that. Now let's go back to the assessment test by clicking on this menu to the right here, and then we are going to select automation, and you can see that this is the last questions we added, and followed by the value or the marks and the right answer. All other answers to all these questions are wrong, and if the cataloger or the person taking the test decide to take care of those wrong ones, 0 will be allocated to the person. Now the next thing we need to do now is to set the test so that it will now be available to the catalogers. And what we simply need to do is to go to test question. You click on test question now. You are going to see the result of what I'm doing. Now let's click on test questions. And having clicked on test questions, you can see that there are many series of questions that are here. In order for us to be why I'm pausing is that I'm not able to see the automation here yet. So what we need to do now is to add the test question. So because the other ones that have been set are the ones that we are seeing here. So sorry, let me stop this. So add test questions, and then we are brought to this environment. What I'm simply going to do now is what I said, like setting the question so that it will be ready for examination, for testing. So now under competency here, I simply need to select automation, and here number of tests, there are 3 of them there. I need to enter 3, and other times allow, maybe I just want to allow 2 minutes because everything here is set in minutes. In some cases, maybe the questions are many and the time that you need to set may be 30 minutes or it may be up to 60 minutes. That is equal to 1 hour. But in this case now, for testing purposes, we just want to allocate 2 minutes, and then that is why I have entered 2 here. To the right under instruction, you need to specify what you expect the student or the catalogers or the people taking the test to know or to do. So what I simply need to do is answer. I will just type answer or questions, and I'll say note that all questions carry equal marks. So that is all I need to do for now, and then I'll just come here and click on save. Alright, having done that, something quickly pop up. You can come down here. You see that the 3 questions that were set under the automation subject now appear at the bottom where you see competency text. What you simply need to do here are 2 things. Number 1, you need to click on this selector here so that you can select all of them. If the questions are many and you just, for example, now you have about 20 questions and you want them to select, we want them to answer only 10 questions, you need to simply click them one after the other, and then you see that if there are many, they will go to the next page. But in this case, I just need the student or the people participating in the test now to answer these 3 questions. Alright, so having selected this by clicking on this column, you will now see that all the questions have been selected, highlighted, and simply need to click on save first. So you click on save, done. Now come back here again and click on them, and then at the top right corner you see check here to submit selected test. Right, so now you navigate up and you see submit. That's all I need to do now. I have clicked on submit and you see they have disappeared. That means that the question have been selected. Now let's go back and see if they are among the questions that are valuable to the administrator, for the administrator to decide which of the tests the student needs to take. So I click on assessment test, and you see that all those things, all those questions that have to do with automation have been added. Even though there are 2 here, but you can click here to show you the last one. But however, you can also click on this one and click on automation. Only the 3 questions will appear. Why this is possible, what you need to do here is that any question you want to treat, for example, if I click on behavioral competency, only the questions available to the behavioral competencies will be available, along with their scores and the answers that are appropriate for them. Okay, now in this case, we are dealing with automation. Now, if you click on this test, you find out that automation is now added among the tests that will be made available for attempting. Now, this environment is where you switch on or switch off the test for it to be available in the environment where the catalogers, when they log in, will see. For example, now you can see this one that looks like an arrow pointing to the front. Is like starting the test. That is what you click to start the test. This is if you want to delete the test, and this one to the left there is if you want to edit the test. Now at this junction, I want to click on this. You see that it will change. If you look now, it has changed. Let me embolden it so that you can see what I'm talking about. Sorry. Gosh. Sorry. I just want to zoom it so that you can see. You see what I'm talking about? It's not clear. So now let's return back to original set of that page. So now, as you see it selected like this, it shows that the test has been started. For the rest that are not looking the same as this, if the student or the cataloger log into their page, they will not see any of this. They will only see one that has been started. And if I click it again, it will disappear for their page. That means that it has been stopped. Stopping it means making it not to appear in the page, in the front end, the page of the where the test will be assessed. Now clicking any of them, for example, if I click all of them, all the questions will be appearing in the front end, where the student will now see the question and decide which of the tests they need to participate in. So that is all about this simple training. I hope you enjoyed what I have presented to you. You have to watch this video on and on again to be familiar with the steps that that I took to reach this point. If you have any question, after all, you have the options to ask me, and I'll be grateful. I'll be glad to give you the answer as appropriately as possible. Thank you for listening, and God bless you. We'll meet again in the next episode, where I will now introduce you to how a cataloger or the staff interested in taking the test or being instructed to take the test will now have to create an account and then log in and see their test, the available test that is expected to take. So we are going to create 2 accounts, and when the next episode comes, you are going to see how possible that will be. During that time, we are going to be navigating between the administrator page, that is the backend page, and the front end page, where you'll be seeing what we have clicked here to be available and what is not available to the students. Thank you for listening, and God bless you.